Good morning, everybody, and welcome back to a tiny cabin. Not my tiny cabin, but a tiny cabin. This morning, we're off on an adventure. So stick around because we are in search of riches and fame and fortune. Today, we are going gold panning, and it's not going to be like the last video I made of gold panning where we didn't find any gold. Today, I guarantee you, we're going to find gold. How can I be so certain? Well, because I was here yesterday and I found some decent gold. So today we're back. So let's grab our shovels and let's grab our scoops and let's go get rich. Well, this looks like as good a spot as any. So you're probably wondering, where in the world am I that I can find gold? Because you all know I live in the state of Minnesota. So a lot of people know that Minnesota, Wisconsin, Michigan, they're not gold-bearing states. So they don't think there's any gold to be found. But the truth of the matter is that when the glaciers proceeded south out of Canada, picked up gold-bearing rocks, crushing it and tumbling it in the ice. And at the end of the glaciers, when they receded, they dropped all of that till and they formed eskers and moraines and all sort of geologic features. And that's where you can sometimes find what they call glacial gold. And glacial gold is just simply gold that's been transported south by the glaciers and deposited into areas that aren't typically gold-bearing spots. Now, the exact spot I'm in, I can't really divulge because, well, because some friends online gave me this tip. And it really wouldn't be fair to them if I just broadcasted this out for the world to see their spot. So today we're exploring a new spot that I can call my spot. But the first thing we need to do is we need to run a couple test pans to see if there's even gold here. I am not looking forward to putting my hands in that icy cold water. Oh, that's a lot. I don't need that much. Now that we have this big pan of gravel and dirt and rock, we're going to shake it up in the water, and that will cause all that gold to fall to the bottom of the pan. The gold is so much heavier than the surrounding matrix that it's the thing that's going to drop the fastest. So if we can get this all stirred up, get that gold to the bottom, we can skim off the top layer and hopefully determine if there's actually gold here and if it's actually worth looking and spending any more time. As you've probably noticed, there's frost on the ground this morning. It's about 30 degrees. This water is like sticking my hands in ice. Super cold ice. Luckily, I do have some waterproof gloves in the basket. I might have to get those out. I'm kind of a wimp. Now that I've got most of that dirt out of the pan, I'm left with just the very bottom, the heaviest part. So now we're going to look and see if there's any flakes of gold in there. But I'm old, so I got to put my spectacles on, which are now all fogged up, of course. There, now I can see you. We do have a piece of gold, and it is so small, I'm not sure if you're going to be able to see it on the GoPro. I might have to take my phone out to show you. You can see that little dot right there? That is a little speck of gold right there. But I kind of hope to find more than just one speck, so we're gonna look around a little bit more. I think we can find a better spot. But first we're gonna snuffer that up. Even though it's one piece, gold is gold. And if you get 100,000 pieces, well, you might have enough to actually weigh. Probably not. So I'm just gonna tap all the stuff to the front, and hopefully there's some gold in this pan that will at least give me an indication if this area is worth checking out. Now the gold in the upper Midwest is so fine, they call it flour gold. You're not going to find any nuggets here. And in fact, you're not really going to make any money doing this. It's just a hobby and it's just for fun. Now before you just go out and set up a sluice and start looking for your fortune, it's important to realize that not all the laws concerning gold panning are the same in every state. Some states you're allowed to use a sluice, some states it's illegal. So check with your local laws and ordinances before you go out and start panning in a creek. In fact, the gold is so small that I'm not sure you're going to be able to see it on the camera. Only one little speck here too. I think we'll keep looking. Now, any good prospector, or any outdoorsman for that example, always lives by the rule of leave no trace. So every time we dig somewhere, we're going to make sure we fill that hole in so it looks like nobody was ever there. Put that rock right back where it was. Not only is it the rule to fill in your holes, but it also helps to keep your secret spot a secret. If somebody rolls up and they see you've been working an area, well, next thing you know, there's gonna be 15 people in your spot. So instead of finding a couple specks of gold, you're gonna find 0 specks of gold. So what I'm using is just a screen to classify. So when I pile the dirt into here and shake it, all of the fine gold and the gravel falls through into the bucket, and the big rocks I can then put in a pile to fill my hole when I'm done. It's called classifying your material, and it makes it so that when you pan it out later or run it through a sluice, the size of material is more uniform. And that allows not only your sluice not to get clogged, but it also allows the fine gold, which if material is relatively the same size, gold is always heavier and gold always drops. So the more uniform you can make your material, the better off you are and the easier it is for that gold to drop out. Now that I've got my bucket full of dirt, now I got to get it over to the rapids. So now all that dirt that I classified into the bucket, I'm just going to feed into the sluice, and that water is going to run it down, and hopefully the gold particles will get trapped in the little holes of the sluice, the little vortices of the sluice. I got that 5-gallon bucket run of all the material. Just going to clean out my sluice, and then we're going to pan out all of those all that concentrated material. All right, here's the big reveal. Look at that beautiful gold. I couldn't resist. I took a scoop of material from the bucket and I had to pan it out just to see if we were still on the gold. And I got a piece, so I know that we're on the gold. See if you can see it. You see it next to that big yellow rock? But the fact is, we're on the gold. We're gonna keep on washing rock. The more dirt we can sluice, the more gold we're gonna find. I'll check back when that bucket's gone, and hopefully we got something to smile about. So I just cleaned out the sluice after running one bucket, and it's all in the pan. Let's see if we got any shiny in there. Okay, so I've got the 5 gallons all panned down. Let's take a look at how much gold was actually in 5 gallons of material. This is a typical bucket. I've run 5 today. This is one of them. The sun has come out and it actually has warmed up a little bit. What a beautiful day to be on the creek. But I just got done cleaning out another bucket. And I thought I would show you guys, since the sun is shining, you might be able to see it a little bit better. Look at all that beautiful gold. Not much when you figure that's 5 gallons worth of dirt that I had to go through to find that. And a lot of work. And it may not be worth anything, but it's a heck of a lot of fun. So we're probably going to end the field portion of this video here. So I do plan to be panning for about 2.5 days at this location. So when I'm completely done after the 2.5 days is over, I'll check back in with you and I'll show you the grand total of gold that I found. Now, the thing to remember is I'm not doing this to make money. I'm not making any money. The gold that I have in the pan is pretty much worthless. Even after 2.5 days, it's going to be such a minuscule amount that there's no money involved in this. This is just a hobby. It's just fun. And I tell you what, other than it being cold and my hands freezing, and it's a beautiful end of October day to be out in the woods and find a little bit of the shiny. So thanks for coming along. We got gold in the pan. But here's the final tally after 2.5 days of panning. Well, everybody, it's about that time to say goodbye. It's been a fun couple of days, but the weather has really turned. The water is ice cold, and I think this is the end of the season for me. But I'll go ahead and tally up my gold for the last 2 days, and I'll show you how much I got. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. I love you, and we'll see you soon. Time for the grand finale. Let's see how much gold we got after 3 days of panning. We got 0.13, so just over 1/10 of a gram. It's better than nothing, and it was a heck of a lot of fun. So as always, love you guys, take care, and we will see you soon.